Welcome everybody to episode 2, full episode of Sauce Hog Sports. With me, I'm joined by the usual suspects. We have Kevin, Mark, Ronnie, and with us today is Richard. Richard, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
What's up, guys? My name's Ricky. Legal name's Richard, but I go by Ricky. Huge baseball fan, more than anything else, and Nats fan, as you can see in the back. And I'm here to talk sports with some of my boys.
All right,
Yeah,
sounds good.
happy
Now
to have you
for
here, Ricky.
yeah, welcome. All right, so as everybody, of course, knows, it is a big day today. Today is Mario Lemieux's birthday. Nothing else important is happening today. So happy birthday, Magnifica, Magnifique, something like that, whatever. But no, today is wild card day for the AL. Is that right? Pretty sure.
But yeah, it's AL today.
Yankees and Red Sox at 8:08 or something like that. I got the TV on. You will see me look over there a lot. I took the Yankees money line. I think you should too. I think the Red Sox stink. But turn over to our baseball guys. Ricky, Ronnie, anybody else wants to talk about it? Go ahead.
I'll start,
Yeah,
Ronnie.
yeah, you go.
All right. So you said you took the Yankees, Sean, which I can see
Mm-hmm.
why. But you got to remember, this is a big rivalry game. It's Yankees Red Sox at Fenway. Now the Yankees do have Garrett Cole on the bump, but like I said, you're in Fenway Park. It's a different beast when you're at Fenway.
I heard he hasn't been good lately. Is that true?
Garrett Cole, no. I think I
That's
think
not true, or he
he's
or
not
he's not
like
good.
he's not the Garrett Cole that you're probably used to.
$300+ million Garrett Cole.
Yeah,
Sick.
Mhm.
Love that. I did know that.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take the Yankees too. Um, I just Garrett Cole may not be playing the way he's used to playing, especially like beginning of the season. During that, times that gave him and earned him that contract. But he's going against Nathan Eovaldi, who's having a good year. But I still just think with guys like Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, you know, the Yankees hitters, I just think will somewhat have an edge. I think it'll be close. I just think I'd have to take the Yankees money line as well.
Ricky, who you taking?
personally, I would take the Red Sox in this game.
I should have looked up the spread, but I should have looked up it. So baseball is interesting. I don't know how much you guys know about the betting perspective, but all the betting shows I watch, they do like the first five. So a team is favored plus half run, minus half a run. So I would assume the Red Sox would be plus half a run through five, which is through 5 innings, so it's like half a game. So this is where you would go into essentially your starting pitchers should last through 5 innings. So that's what they're betting on. They don't want to rely on the relievers or anything like that. So that's what that betting means. So I didn't do that, but I took Yankees game. Probably gonna lose. I am 1-0. I'm actually batting 1,000 in my baseball picks. I took the Pirates opening day and never bet on baseball again. So I'm 1-0.
Never
Uh,
going back.
never going well except today, but
Yeah.
we'll see. Yeah, but let's do Sean's trivia. Kev, you want to put up the slide? It's fucking dope.
Actually, didn't see
Oh, you'll see it.
that.
All
It's a good one.
right. So I have a question. So we're transitioning to football. It is football season. So I have a question for everybody's favorite sports team. So we're gonna start with. So this is the order we're gonna go. We'll go Ronnie, Kevin, Mark, Ricky. All right. So Ronnie and Mark both have football teams. That's their name. They're fans of the football team. Kev and Ricky are the Lions and Steelers respectively.
I'm about to be a NFL team, just no team. Fan of the game.
You gotta wear that.
NFL hat. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's on the way. Trust me.
So, Ronnie, your question is, who has the single season rushing record for the Washington football team with 1,613 yards? I can give you the year if it helps you.
Yeah, give me the year.
2012.
I know this.
Alfred Morris.
It is Alfred Morris. The year helps out a lot. Clap it
Yeah,
up for Ronnie. Clap it up for Ronnie.
I was thinking Clinton Portis at first when she told me the year.
I was thinking of Stephen Davis.
Oh yeah.
All right. Did I say, Kev, you're next?
Yep.
Who was the last running back to go over 1,000 yards in a season with 1,006 rushing yards? I can also give you the year.
What year?
2013.
Was it Reggie?
It was Reggie. Good job, Kev. That was a hard one. Reggie Bush. Good shit. Marcus.
Here we go.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Who has the single season receiving record for the Washington football team with 1,483 yards?
What's the year?
2005.
I don't know. Is that too early to be Santana?
That's what I'm thinking.
Is that your guess?
My guess is Santana.
Correct. Santana
There you go.
Moss. I thought it was quite early for him too. I didn't know he was there back
Yeah.
in the day. All right, Ricky. Now, obviously I know the answer, but I would like to think I would know this. But it is a challenging question. Name the last running back for the Steelers, not named Le'Veon Bell, to rush over 1,000 yards. I can give you the year.
All right, go ahead.
2010. They went to the Super Bowl that year.
So was it
Lost.
Willie Parker?
No, they lost to the Packers that year.
But was it Willie Parker?
No, this is after Willie Parker. This is anybody else want to guess? This was
What did it start with?
R. Ricky, does that help?
Yes. The fuck was his name?
Rashad Mendenhall.
Rashad Mendenhall. Good guess. Good guess.
I forgot all
Good
about
job. That is a tougher one, I think, but I also thought Kev's was tough. So good job, guys. Wasn't bad. We might keep that in. We might not for next week. Haven't decided yet. Kind of hard to find a lot of trivia questions, but
I got one for you. You already know the answer.
yeah,
Who was the last rookie quarterback to beat Tom Brady?
Is this for everyone?
It's for everybody.
Oh,
But-
Geno Smith.
Damn, what the hell?
I watched my
idiot.
Ah, fuck.
The last rookie quarterback.
It was Geno Smith.
Out
Yeah.
of all rookie quarterbacks, he's the one that did it.
Yes.
Yeah, he's
All right, here's another question. Where is Geno Smith currently?
at home.
Seattle.
Yeah,
Seattle. Good job.
I mean, he's at home technically, but
We don't know. Not for sure.
I have him on Snapchat.
Is that serious? For real?
No.
All right. All right, you guys want to get into week 4?
Let's do it.
All right, first things first. Jacksonville 21, Cincinnati 24. Jacksonville's 0-4. Cincinnati improves to 3-1. Before we get there, let's talk about Urban Meyer for a little bit. And I think before that, I think you guys all owe me an apology.
I don't think so.
Why?
no.
You can't say the Jets are a worse organization than the Jaguars right now.
Yeah, right now. But at the time we had that take.
7 days ago.
Yeah.
A lot has changed in 7 days.
You guys
Especially
owe me
because
an
I was
apology.
saying Urban Meyer does not belong in the NFL.
I said the same thing.
I think Urban Meyer doesn't want to be in the NFL. Like,
USC's calling him.
He is. It's a conspiracy. He did that on purpose just so he can get fired and go to USC.
You guys all owe me an apology. So I'm holding you guys to that. But
Based on when it was said compared to what is unfolded, I don't think it's fair.
it,
Yeah.
you guys are the worst. I mean,
Hey,
I was right. I was right. You guys were wrong. So
now, but at the time,
Yeah.
I was still right then. Still right now.
all right, whatever keeps your boat flowing, we're good with that.
like he's
But-
a mess.
I mean,
Urban Meyer's a mess.
what I specifically did not like. I mean, obviously, you can't do what you did as a coach, but I don't know if you guys saw his apology yesterday or today, whatever it was. But he threw Trevor Lawrence under the bus. Trevor went to, in his quote, he literally says, when your quarterback comes up to you and asks to go to Vegas for his bachelor party, Urban Meyer spit that out to the media. So that's just an absurd thing to say, and I hate that he said that. We should not be throwing your once in a generation quarterback out like that. And we haven't heard anything about Trevor Lawrence getting in trouble or anything like that. So it's pisses me off. Urban Meyer's a known scumbag, still scumbag. Poor Miss Shelley Meyer, but
who also doesn't really seem to care from what I saw, right?
I don't know if she's gonna come out and say she hates her husband, but I've heard similar things as well.
But no, I totally agree. I think you can't do that with your starting quarterback. You're the face of the franchise, whether you're there or not. You know what I mean? Like
Especially
that.
a 21, 22-year-old
Yeah.
guy too.
I agree. I agree with that take.
And I mean, how does any player respect him after that? I mean, he's supposed to be the guy that they all look up to, leading that team. And then he's out there after a loss on Saturday night just partying it up. And then, like you said,
He didn't even take the team playing home.
yeah, he just stayed,
Yeah.
stayed in Ohio.
Yeah, he stayed. So I mean, it just kind of shows you where he's at. I guess is what
He just misses college.
I guess so. I mean, that's
Maybe
the only
so.
explanation.
I mean, all right. To go back to the USC thing, you guys think there's not hotter women in California, Los Angeles? I mean,
That's true.
the same thing's gonna happen there. But then again, that's what college coaches do. Lane Kiffin did it. Hugh Freeze is a scumbag like that as well, and so it's a college scumbag coach mentality, and he brought it to the NFL. And scumbag Roger Goodell hasn't done anything, and I mean, we'll get to officiating later because I have a whole spiel on that too. But they're not gonna do anything either, so it is whatever. Sounds like he's gonna keep his job for now, but whatever. Let's talk about the game. I think this is Trevor's best performance. I think he looked really well. He made some nice, impressive throws. He had a decent job running. They finally got the rushing attack going with James Robinson, and then they just ended up being the Jaguars, and Bengals came back.
I mean, to me, I agree with what you said. Like this to me, it looked like Trevor Lawrence's most comfortable game. He, was running the ball. It kind of had a Clemson feel to it. You know what I mean? Like they gave him those kind of opportunities to kind of go back to his roots a little bit. He looks comfortable not only with the ball in his hand, like pre-snap reads, things like that, but just overall, I feel like it was a little bit more catered to who we know Trevor Lawrence as he is. So I think that kind of paid dividends to him being, showing out as much as he did on Thursday.
Ricky, known Trevor Lawrence hater. What do you guys say?
This was definitely his best first half of the season. The second half wasn't so great, in my opinion. But if you get Trevor Lawrence running out of the pocket or just get his legs going, it just creates another part of Trevor Lawrence that the NFL really hasn't seen yet, just only in college. Him with his
I,
legs is more difficult to bring down than just him sitting in the pocket.
well, he's 6'6", and he's a very underrated running quarterback as well. Obviously,
He's extremely athletic.
obviously, everybody's seen the Ohio State playoff game touchdown run, but I don't think he's gonna be breaking that off in the NFL. But he's a very good runner. I did have a problem with I think it was right before halftime, the 4th and goal call when they ran like a speed option and he didn't pitch it to James Robinson and he tried to muscle his way through it. I did have a problem with that, and James Robinson did come out and say the ball was supposed to go to him, but I mean, he's 6'6" and he had to get 1 yard and couldn't get it against a decent defense. Let's go to the Bengals. Joe Burrow, 25 for 32, 2 touchdowns. Uh, Probably, I believe they're first in the AFC North. They have a division win, so I believe that would put them #1. Are the Bengals good?
I think so.
I think the Bengals are good. I don't think they're a scary 3-1 team, but I mean, for the sake of the division and like where it stands, I think that does kind of, I would say like they're good. Like if that makes sense. Like there's Cowboys 3-1, then there's Bengals 3-1. I think those are
Yeah.
different, but I mean they've beaten the teams they've needed to, aside from the Chicago game, but that
You
was
can
kind of
only
a
play your schedule, and
yeah, and that was kind of an anomaly in its own right, right? So I think they're much improved from last season. Obviously he was out, but they just look to be kind of clicking when they need to. Joe Burrow has his confidence back. You can see that for sure, and that's the biggest part. So
I'm still on. I should look at the odds. Jamar Chase for Rookie of the Year. I feel like he might be a favorite now, but he's putting up good numbers too. I think he had 6 receptions for 90 something yards this game. I don't think he had a touchdown this game, but I mean he's putting up numbers and doing pretty fucking well. So good for him.
I
I
agree.
liked him at LSU. I like Joe Burrow at LSU as well. So they were fun to watch. Go Tigers. But now they're saying go Bengals. But let's move on to.
The same thing, right? A Bengal and a yeah.
Are they?
I don't know. Are they?
Let's move on to football team versus the Falcons. Marcus and Ronnie, you guys can talk about this game.
Sure. So it was 34-30 Washington over Atlanta. Heineke was 23 for 33, 290 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 sack, 5 rushes for 43 yards. Terry McLaurin showed out, 13 targets, 6 receptions, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns. Speaking, for Washington, as far as that goes, the defense is still the biggest problem. You can't be allowing 30 plus points a game. It's just it doesn't matter if your offense is really good or they're in Washington's case where they're not. I mean, you don't know what you're ever going to get, but they built this team around the defense. The defense isn't there. I mean, it was a big win. Taylor Heineke's got a little magic to him.
Did you say Fitz magic?
I do. I really do. He has it, and I don't really know what it is, but it gets wins when you don't think they're gonna happen. So he's really exciting to watch. And
One of the podcasts I was listening to said Taylor Heineke is Ryan Fitzpatrick with a Gillette sponsorship, and I thought that was pretty funny.
no, that's fair enough. But it's kind of like Ron Rivera, I believe, said, with Taylor, you're never out of a game. He's that backyard street quarterback, and that's exactly how he plays. He's not sitting in the pocket and reading everything down. He runs out, he avoids sacks, he extends plays, not in the most glamorous fashion, but he gets things done. And it's not always the most perfect thing that you see, but it at least gives you excitement. It gives you hope. It's not just there's other teams with quarterback situations that I think would be fortunate enough to have Taylor Heineke's services.
All right, Ronnie, I got a quick question for you. I mean, what were you thinking when Taylor just off his back foot chucked up a pass, and Terry McLaurin caught it for a touchdown. And what'd you think? What'd you think about the game-winning touchdown as well? Those are both wild plays.
The McLaurin touchdown, first off, it was a little lucky, but he made a good throw. But it was lucky because he was throwing to McLaurin, who's phenomenal, is gonna come down with some insane catches. I don't think he's always gonna get that lucky. It was almost more of like the Falcons falconed that game towards the end.
Yeah.
But the McKissick pass for the game-winning touchdown, I think that was a great play. If you watch, he had looked through all of his reads. Nothing was there, and then he went to his very last guy, McKissick, who was wide open because everybody was going to, left of the field. McKissick was just sitting there on the right side, wide open, had all the room to run, and he got it done for him. I like Heineke. I think he's probably our best option. It's kind of hard to tell because we didn't really get to see Fitzpatrick for too long, but we've seen Fitzpatrick in the league for a long time. We haven't seen Heineke, and Washington isn't going to be a Super Bowl contender, so I mean, why not? Let's see what Heineke can do for the rest of the season. I think he's proven himself.
I agree.
What is he? 2-1 for him now?
I think
Starting.
so.
Starting. Yeah.
I mean, you say they're not a Super Bowl contender, but they're one game back from leading the division. So I mean,
yeah, it's true.
You gotta start somewhere.
They're in the playoff picture. They did they did playoff scenarios today. The NFL did, and Washington was in there. So be excited about that.
Yeah.
Yes, Steelers are also in the hunt as well. So yeah,
If the defense comes together. Defense comes together, they're going to be a lot better, I think. But that's if they come together. Who knows?
And that's kind of transitioning to the Atlanta side. Cordell Patterson showed out on Sunday. He had a hell of a game. 3 touchdowns, all receiving, and he's kind of been their like ace in the pocket type player, Swiss Army knife, if you will.
He's
Mr. Do It All.
He's what the Packers wanted Ty Montgomery, if you guys remember him.
Yeah.
He's
on the Saints now.
Yeah, but he's what they wanted him to be. A receiver playing running back.
Yeah, and I mean, so, that kept things interesting. Matt Ryan played really efficient as far as that goes. There was, a few questionable calls that game, to say the least, but that's neither here or there. Especially with the Chase Young roughing the passer call, but
no, it is here. I'd like to get into officiating. Ricky, you can say what you were going to say real quick.
That was just a questionable call on the roughing the passer on Chase Young.
I mean, Nick Bosa said it, or Joey Bosa, whoever plays for the Chargers, said it last night or the night before, or whatever. Yeah, Joey. He said the officiating has been horrible, and I agree. I cannot get. This league is $20 billion. Roger Goodell makes $1 billion himself. He says he makes $1 million. Don't believe him. We'll never believe anything he says. Whatever. But I mean, these officiating calls have to be figured out. How can that be roughing the passer? He touched him in his chest. Matt Ryan didn't even fall. He took a knee. He didn't fall. The Steelers, how are we not reviewing that? That is a scoring play that needs to be reviewed. I know you can't review a flag, but we reviewed pass interference for a full year, and it sucked. How is officiating in this league so bad? It's not just these games. We've seen it with Dallas and the Chargers. That game was awful. This is worse than the replacement refs 2014 or whatever it was. This is awful. This needs to be fixed. It's an epidemic. Figure it out, Roger Goodell, you bum.
Do you know who we need to come out of retirement? Ryan knows who I'm talking about.
Don't say this. Don't say this.
We don't.
You don't need him back.
It looks to me, on a serious note, it looks to me that refs are looking for things more than just letting the game flow. Like, they're looking to pull that flag more than just, okay, something did happen. It's almost like it's clocked up to go. which is unfortunate to see. But I agree with your take. It's just been way too many flags, and I get they want to protect the players when it comes to roughing the passers, of what we kind of started this conversation on. But it just
Oh, he fell down awkwardly. He must have hit him in the neck or head, and
and
stupid.
it's the worst part about it, and this can wrap it up, is that it was a late flag. So like they taught, like, you know what I mean? So it wasn't like in the moment, he got hit, oh, I saw it, throw a flag. It was like the play happened, Matt Ryan was on the ground, and then they decided to, hey, all right, let's throw the flag. And I mean, that's the worst kind of penalty there is, right? Like one that's like you kind of had time to think about it. Like if you're a ref, I feel like you either know or you don't. And it's just like, did it happen or did it not? And so, I mean, to me, the variance of not only a bunch of flags, but the like, the late flags as well is just, it's frustrating for sure.
I agree with the
Yeah,
call.
You're the worst as
Of
well.
course you do.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, on to the next game.
Wait. I do have a question for you guys, Mark and Ronnie. Is Chase Young struggling this year?
Yes.
Yeah,
Why?
I think so.
I think he's too much in his head. I think there's a lot of pressure on him, not alone, but there's a lot of pressure on this defense, from being number 2 last year to now, expecting with no changes but improvements, to do what they did. And it's tough to do, not only like, with veterans, when you have a veteran group, to redo what you did the previous year, but with young guys as well. It's, I think it's harder to get out of your head. It's harder to, focus on your fundamentals and what you need to do, and just, do your job and let everything else come to you. I think that's a little bit of what it is.
It's a
Yeah.
sophomore slump.
I also saw something that said people are saying he has the personality of LeVar Arrington.
Yeah, I saw that.
And Washington fans will know. LeVar, he was great though, so I mean, yeah, his personality does. But I remember LeVar just be out there just running his own plays on defense.
I
But
hope it doesn't get to that extent,
I
but
hope not either. He'll be out there playing safety or something. Just
I was watching some Albert Hainsworth highlights today at work, so that's a good throwback as well.
yeah, we don't talk about that. So we can move on to the next game for sure.
Yeah, next game we got Houston 1-3 at the Buffalo Bills 3-1. Yeah, Buffalo won this 40-0. Was never in doubt. Maybe a little in the first quarter. I believe Josh Allen got picked on the first drive, and then I don't know if Houston crossed the 50-yard line ever again. This was Davis Mills is who he thought he was. 11 for 21, 87 yards, 4 interceptions, 3 sacks. Mitch Trubisky had a rushing touchdown for the Bills. I mean, when is Tyrod coming back for the Bills? Do we know? Is he on IR? I don't think he's on IR, but I don't think he's coming back anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but this game, it's just like there's not much to say. Like, you look at what's there and who you're going against. First off, Houston was already deemed to be, if not the worst, one of the worst teams coming out this year. They started off 1-0, a lot due to Tyrod, obviously, but I mean, I don't think there's any high expectations for Davis Mills, and you just see it. I don't want to say like they've given up, but I mean, there's only so much a team that was already projected to be the worst team can do. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those games. I don't know how much time we spend on it, but it's like you said, it was, it was expected.
I did have a question for everybody here. Saw a lot of power rankings today. Bills were number 1 in the power rankings. How do we feel about that?
I disagree.
I disagree.
Who would your guys' number 1 be? And who would your 32 be?
I know who Marks is.
Well, after this week, my number 1 would be the Cardinals.
Just because we're 4-0?
Well, they beat my number 1 going into week 4.
Yeah, I agree with Ricky. I think power rankings are more just less of like who is number 1 at that specific time. You know what I mean? They change all season, and the Cardinals, they just beat the Rams, who
Yeah,
were
I mean,
contenders. So
yeah, I credit that. I think I could easily like go with the Rams as well. Like I don't have a problem with that whatsoever because they are the last 4-0 team and they've beaten good teams as well. Um, I'm also a fan of the Chargers, so
I knew it.
yeah, you know,
Saw that one coming. All right.
Before we
eh,
before we move on, actually, there is something that I did notice while watching this game. The Bills had a tough time scoring in the red zone against the Texans.
This was a poor weather game, but the the Bills are suspect in my opinion. I I think they can score in the red zone. Dawson Knox, who I happened to pick up in fantasy, had a couple of good touchdowns, but I mean they're they are a I'm not gonna say score quickly. They're not the Chiefs. They don't have Stephon Diggs can't really run past everybody, but he can catch everything. But
Same with
they're
Sanders.
Emmanuel Sanders, that is true. He he's getting old, but I mean,
Still looks good for his age.
yeah.
I mean, the thing is with them is like look at their 3 wins, right? Washington, Houston, and
Miami.
Miami. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, like I don't, you kind of have to put that into account a little bit. Those are teams that coming into the season, let alone you are expected to beat. And they have done that. If correct me if I'm wrong, they were expected to beat the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like, so it is. I mean, at this point, I mean, they had high expectations coming in. I mean, like, we know who the Bills are, but I'm not saying they struggled game week 1 against Pittsburgh, but I mean everybody else. I mean, they beat as they should have, but I mean that was expected from the get go. Like there was nobody was circling their calendars was just like, oh, we got the Bills. It's easy.
Yeah.
No, they were expected to win that. So I mean,
Another thing I gotta say too is a lot of their games they're scoring a lot, especially the past 2 weeks. And I think the Bills are one of them teams that'll keep their foot on the gas all game. They'll keep scoring. They're not gonna just run the ball and run it out. I mean, as you can
I
see,
don't love the running back situation either.
I
But
don't either. So I mean, I'd agree with that. I'd agree with that, but I think their scores aren't really letting up to who they actually are.
I agree.
all right, let's move to Kevin. Kevin, Detroit falls to 0-4 with the loss to Chicago, 24-14. What the heck was that Jared Goff interception fumble off the snap play?
Do we have to talk about it?
I
mean, it's Lions luck, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, that's Lions luck.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a new segment, Lions luck.
Justin Fields goes 11 for 17, 209, 1 pick, 1 sack. Favorite target was Darnell Mooney, money with 2 O's, 1 rush, 10 yards, 7 targets, 5 receptions, 125 yards. Fields gets his first win as a rookie, and then Matt Nagy comes out and says Andy Dalton's still our number 1 quarterback.
Matt
Why?
Nagy's an idiot.
Dude.
Yeah, what did we say that last week?
I mean, I'm gonna say it for another 15 weeks
He's
of
an
this.
he's an
'cause
idiot. They changed up the game plan. I don't know if he was calling the plays or not, because he had hinted the week prior that maybe he wouldn't be. But it looked like this game was more suited for Justin Fields,
He was
and
not calling plays, by the way. Yeah.
he wasn't okay. And it was it looked more suited for him. Kind of got him out of just a 3-step drop, 5-step drop. Was rolling him out a little bit using his mobility, and you could tell how much of a difference that regardless of opponent, how much more comfortable he looked, just playing. So I think that goes a long way. I don't.
The big thing is 17. I don't know how many dropbacks were, but 17 pass attempts is not. It's not a big sample size, but the other thing for fantasy players out there, David Montgomery has looked really good, and he's out 4 to 5 weeks. So that
Did they say
brings
what
it in.
injury it was?
some knee sprain or something like that, MCL or
Okay.
something like that.
Because Montgomery
Uh,
was huge for Chicago this past week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
they,
believe he
they,
had over
they
100
need
yards or
Well,
something
I'm
like that.
screwed.
Yeah.
And it's I don't
Now
want to
they
spend a lot of
have
time
Damian Williams from North Carolina, correct?
from Kansas City, I believe, the Chiefs.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think they'll be okay with Damian Williams, but he isn't David Montgomery. I mean, Damian Williams has been in the league for a while. He did good with the Chiefs, but wasn't he more of like a secondary role there too, like a
Yeah.
pass
Yeah,
catching
the
type of
Chiefs
guy?
are a running back by committee team as well.
Yeah. So I mean, I think he's your average running back. He's gonna get you yards. He's just not gonna put up like like a 125 plus yard game rushing. I don't think, but he'll get you, somewhere between like 50, 75, maybe on like 15 rushes, decent amount of receptions and yards.
Kevin, I did have a question for you. Where is the Lions' first win?
Can I jump in on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it may be next week.
Who is it?
Minnesota, correct?
Yep.
Hmm.
I
Mm,
think, I think,
didn't Minnesota
mean-
lose last week? Or
yeah, they did, and they didn't look good at all.
bounce
And
back
we'll
They're
game?
not
we'll
good.
we'll get to that game, but hey, I mean, going in there 0-4, being hungry for that win.
Hungry dog runs faster.
That's true. Um,
All right, let's move on.
I could see it happening. I didn't want to jump in. I don't know where. Do you have another game in mind, Kev?
No. We we have like no talent. I
You guys aren't using T.J. Hawkinson, man.
No, you're not.
I think Amon Ross St. Brown's very good. Quintez Cephas has been pretty good. You got,
Johnson.
I mean,
it'll be like another year or two.
well, yeah, they are younger receivers, but I mean,
All right, so
it
we
is
can
what
jump.
it
You
is.
want to jump to the next game?
Yeah. Carolina,
Carolina.
28, Dallas 36 at Jerry World. Sam Darnold comes back to who Sam Darnold was. This does not surprise me. I believe Carolina is a fluke. I like their defense a lot. I like Brian Burns, like Jeremy Chin, Shaq Thompson, but I mean Dak Prescott, 14 for 22, 188 yards, 4 touchdowns. That's some Jameis Winston numbers. 188 yards, 4 touchdowns. Ever since I said in our like pre podcast, uh, Zeke is gonna lose his job to Tony Pollard. Zeke has just stomped on my throat. 20 rushes, 143 yards. He's back to being Zeke. Feed him. Good things are gonna happen.
Also, this was Trayvon Diggs' breakout game.
Yeah, I'll give you that. He's played really well.
I did have that as well. Is this? I don't know if they do have the most improved player, but I mean, he sucked last year. He got torched. That was his rookie year last year. They were picking on him all year, and now he leads the league in interceptions with 5 already through 4 weeks. Defensive player of the year, probably.
Well, he
I'd
had
like to
2
say
in this
something
game,
too.
right? My bad, Ronnie.
No, you can go ahead. Mine's different, kind of off. Same
What?
same game, but off topic.
I think he had 2 this game, correct?
Mm-hmm.
He
Yep.
did.
Yeah, but I was saying, I think going into the year, a lot of people were thinking, Dallas's defense was going to be bad again this year. But I think they've definitely shown that they can compete with their defense. And I think a lot of that is Trayvon Diggs. But I mean, they drafted Micah Parsons. Even with the loss of DeMarcus Lawrence, they still,
I mean, Micah Parsons is playing
yeah,
T.J.
he
Watt,
played-
left outside linebacker. Yeah,
and he
Very
still
true.
played good.
yeah.
Their offense is already good. We already knew that with Dak in there. He's gonna do his stuff, and if Elliott can keep rushing for 100 plus a game, that offense is gonna be very hard to stop with the weapons they have. And I don't necessarily want to count Sam Darnold out yet, but I definitely think he has more weapons with Carolina. But I don't think he's gonna play that good until he has McCaffrey back. They need that threat of a running game to hold defenses,
And they
covering.
lost their first round pick last week with J.C. Horn at corner.
Mm.
That's a huge loss. You
I
know,
do like him.
he was playing great.
Hmm.
And I mean that's a huge loss on the back end, especially going into Dallas with the receivers with Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. You need your number one guy to come in and be the guy you want to be your number one guy to show up and be there. But unfortunately, he couldn't. So that's a huge loss on the back end for them.
I hate to say this, but I think Dallas is a threat this year. As a Washington fan, I hate to say it, but if their defense keeps up playing decently enough to, so their offense can win them games, they're going to be a threat. I don't think they're a Super Bowl threat, but they'll definitely be in the playoffs, I think, and they're going to be a team that people are going to have to watch out for.
I agree. Let's go down to Miami, where the Colts played Miami Dolphins. Colts won 27-17. Carson Wentz, actually pretty efficient day, 24 for 32, 228, 2 touchdowns, one to my boy Mike Gesicki. Shout out him. I love you. Jonathan Taylor, 16 rushes, 100 yards, 1 touchdown. And Jacoby Brissett, kind of average day, 20 for 39, 199, 2 touchdowns, 3 sacks, 1 fumble. Colts get their first win. Not a lot happened this game. I didn't really care for it. Let's talk about the Colts. Can they win the AFC South? They're one game out. Is that the worst division?
Yeah, I think it's up there. If it's not, it has to be. I mean, who would you? I mean, Miami. I'm not scared of Miami until they get Tua back, and even with Tua, I don't know if I'm scared of them either.
The AFC South is, I
No,
believe,
no. But I was
Titans.
speaking of the game. No, I was speaking of the game.
Uh,
With that. But no. So I do think the Titans are the Colts' only threat for the AFC South. But no, just I was kind of like just going back to like the game. I know you were transitioning there, but I don't think Miami is as scary as they were last year, regardless of who they have. I didn't want to like brush over that.
Yeah, I don't think Tua or Jacoby Brissett changes anything. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I still
No, but
think you good.
no, I was gonna answer his question to where like he was saying, can the Colts win the AFC South? I think aside from the Titans, it's them. Yeah, obviously. I mean, like
Yeah.
it's not gonna be Jacksonville or Houston, right?
yeah,
So, um,
I mean, 4 total wins of that division, and Tennessee has 2, Houston has 1, and
Yeah.
Indianapolis has 1. So
yeah,
Yeah, I still think
I,
it's Tennessee's divisional win, just because
I mean, they did not
they've
look good.
got they haven't looked good at all, but I still think it's their divisional win, even though they haven't played good, just because they've got Derrick Henry. If Tannehill can start kind
yeah.
of going
We'll,
back
we'll
to
talk about them when we get there.
yeah,
But I mean, maybe Carson Wentz can get hot. Maybe Jonathan Taylor gets hot. Maybe Michael Pittman gets hot. Who knows? But this was a weird game. I mean, Colts get the first win. Congrats against the Dolphins. So next game we have is Cleveland 14 at Minnesota.
Was an
Vikings had
awful
7.
game.
This was an interesting game because, like I said, Kirk Cousins is bad. Fact. Baker Mayfield also played extremely bad. Missed Odell at least 5 times, 2 of them for touchdowns, and it was. What is there a problem between Baker and Odell?
After this week, yes. If I was
Specifically
Odell,
after
yeah,
just
no.
this week?
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
was the first round.
I don't think he's missing him on purpose, right?
No,
Like,
but
yeah.
dude,
I mean,
that's
I
two
mean, it looked
touchdowns
like
he
if
coulda
you
had.
if you go back and look at the last third down, it was like 3rd and 7. Odell beats his guy by about 7 yards, and Baker just throws it
Behind him.
5 yards behind him and 2 yards to the outside. It was an ugly home run Yankees. maybe
Was the
not. Maybe
ugly
off the
home
Green
run
Monster.
Yankees?
It was all Chunt. That's all it was. Cream Hunt and Nick Chubb.
Yeah,
I
good
like
for
that
them.
duo. I do like that
I
duo.
yeah. I would like to think. I mean, I don't know. It's maybe like fantasy perspective, but you think Kareem Hunt can maybe start stealing even more
Yes.
and more touches from Nick Chubb? I definitely think so. Because I mean,
I mean, you say
played
it,
good.
but I believe Nick Chubb got the big contract that
Yeah,
he deserves. So they're
he
going to keep
does.
him around for quite a little bit.
But I've always liked Kareem Hunt, especially when he was with Kansas City. I hope he does good, but I think he will.
That long fly ball for a single.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was looking at it and I thought it was gone. It looked like it. But yeah, this was a poor game. Baker 15 for 33, 155 yards, 3 sacks. Awful game. Awful. Kirk was 20 for 38, 203 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 2 sacks. Boring game. And
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I
glad
think
I
Uh,
didn't watch it.
I think Baker crumbles when it comes to like 2-minute drills.
I don't think this
Because
was a 2 minute drill.
the throw he had to OBJ was in that 2-minute drill,
I mean, they were winning.
but they were still trying to drive down the field.
No, they were trying to get a first down. The game would have been over if they get a first down.
I mean the game, yeah. But I don't know. I just feel like he crumbles under pressure. How about that?
I mean, 15 for 33, you're crumbling in regular pressure too, so not good. Under 50%, probably 48, 47%. Bad. Very bad. All right, let's talk some good. Giants get their first win in NOLA. Giants 27, Saints 21. Is Daniel Jones good? He's been playing pretty well this year. 28 of 40, 402 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 rushes, 27 yards. Saquon 13 rushes, 52 yards, 1 touchdown, 5 receptions, 74 yards, 1 touchdown.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have been critical on Daniel Jones since he was drafted. I don't think he's a bad quarterback. He's not going to be like a Pat Mahomes, Justin Herbert, kind of guy.
No.
But he'll be that game manager like we were talking about last week. I just don't. He just does not have the pieces around him. I mean, the Giants are missing a lot of pieces. It's nice seeing Saquon kind of get back into it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of him. I like him.
It seemed to me that they were using Saquon a little bit more differently, than they have been all season. Putting him in out wide, using him in receiving formations, getting him the ball in all ways they possibly could, besides just handing it off.
Mhm.
So just seeing that transition, he seemed using him in different ways, trying to keep your best player on the field at all times as much as you can, seemed to pay dividends for them.
Yeah, and on the other hand, I think the Saints are frauds. I think that first week the Packers just were not there. I don't like the Saints with Jameis. Jameis is
Taysom's
just a
team.
wild thrower. The dude is gonna get
Taysom Hill's
touchdowns,
better.
dude, throw just as many picks.
Taysom
I like
had 12
Taysom
of the
too,
21
but
points, bro.
have we ever seen Taysom actually just start as a quarterback and
He
play all
should.
game?
He should.
Because who
I mean,
knows?
he went 2 for 3 with the pick, so that's James didn't have a pick. So what do you
Yeah.
want?
There you go. The Saints are still going to be a middle of the pack team. They're not going to be playoff competitors, I don't think, but
Nah,
they're
I
not
don't
going to
think
be
so
the
either.
worst team. But they'll probably finish, maybe like 7, 8 wins or something, I think.
Taysom Hill's stat line is 2 for 3 for 9 yards, 1 interception, 6 rushes, 28 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 receptions, 26 yards. So
He just does it
not a
all.
not a bad fantasy day, but I mean,
did you see the run that he had?
yeah, he's a tight end that wanted to play quarterback.
Yeah.
He's what Tim Tebow wants to be. So
I got a question. In fantasy, can you put him in the quarterback slot?
why would you do that? You're taking away.
No, I'm just saying, like,
Put him in your running
only
back,
going-
your second running back spot.
I don't think you can.
I believe he's a receiver or a tight end.
is he considered a receiver?
It's receiver or tight end. I think he might be a tight end.
Or is he a quarterback?
I just says Taysom Hill flex. He has one spot you can put him.
He
Yeah.
wouldn't be bad as a tight end, though, honestly.
I gotta look that up.
in
I mean,
fantasy, not in
I'm
actual
not gonna pick
game.
him up. I'm just saying, like, I might pick him up.
oh,
But other than that,
Pick 'em up.
I think there's not too much to be said about the game besides that the Saints really just lost that game. They let the Giants come right down and beat them.
they were up 21-10, and Giants win in overtime with the Saquon rushing touchdown. So
The Saints gave that one away. Or maybe the Giants just really just earned it and deserved to get that win when it came down to it because they did play better. But it was just another one of those games. It was ugly to watch through and through. I mean, that's my take on it. It wasn't a pretty game by any means.
now let's get to another weird, ugly game. Titans 24 at the New York Football Jets 27. Jets get their first win in overtime. Zach Wilson gets his first win. Uh, Ryan Tannehill 30 for 49, 298 yards, one touchdown, 7 sacks. 7 sacks. Derrick Henry 33 rushes, 157 yards, one touchdown. Zach Wilson, 21 of 34, 297 yards, two touchdowns, one pick, one sack. Corey Davis, four receptions, 111 yards, one touchdown. Once again, Ryan Tannehill was sacked 7 times. He's been sacked the most in the league. I believe I was looking today, and it was like 17 times total, and Chandler Jones has 5 of those, and a Jets defense, which is not good, has 7 of those. I mean, this is just the Titans are frauds.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of which, Sean, have you heard Bud Dupree's name lately? Like at all?
So, but first of all, I was the one who hated him getting a franchise tag in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
I believe
do
I believe
remember. I
you
remember
love
that
that.
conversation. I did. Yep.
Yep. I don't think he's that good. Outside linebackers come and go. Unless you have a T.J. Watt or a Chandler Jones or a Hassan Reddick, I like a lot too. Brian Burns is very good. Unless you have one of those, they're replaceable. Look at Javon Clowney. I mean,
Mm.
you can consider him an end, but I don't know if he's had a sack in 3 years. He's not. He's there in Cleveland, but he's there as a name. I'm not worried about him at all. But whatever. Let's talk about Zach Wilson. His pass to whatever his name was,
Corey
Corey
Davis.
Davis was pretty. I will say that. I mean, he's a gunslinger and he throws
Yeah,
deep.
gunslinger, and he let it rip, and it worked out for him on Sunday. Um, it looked like they kind of,
They just never stopped fighting.
yeah, you know what I mean. Like it looked like they were just out there playing to like they were enjoying themselves a little bit. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? So it was just kind of, obviously there's structure. I don't want to say there was no structure to the game, but it was just cool to see Zach Wilson out there just slinging around like we saw in college and what he was supposed to be able to do in the pros. And, those were the throws he was making in college, so.
Redirecting traffic and everything like that.
Yeah. And those crazy just cross field, just slinging it and just letting it go and trusting your guy to come down with it. That was a big emphasis and a big part of why they came out with the win.
Yeah, I definitely think he played a good game. Probably like Trevor Lawrence, probably his best game of the season. I also liked Corey Davis. He got 111 yards. That guy, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't he a top 10 pick from like
He
Western Michigan,
was,
something like that?
yeah, I remember we talked about it, and I believe he was like 8 or 10, something like that
Yeah.
from
So I've always
somewhere.
been kind of a fan of him. I would love to see him actually develop into a superstar wide receiver. I don't think it'll happen, but it's good seeing him get over 100 yards and a touchdown, and seeing Zach Wilson lead a team to a win. Jets are kind of in need of another franchise quarterback. I mean, they haven't had one in a while. I mean, Derrick Henry, he did his thing. He got over 150 yards. I mean, he always does, it seems like.
Yeah.
But it's just not enough when Tannehill's getting sacked 7 times. I mean, look at the Bears last week when Justin Fields got sacked 9 times. You just can't win games when your offensive line just isn't blocking. It's just not going to happen. It's probably Tennessee's biggest fault right now. And like when we went back to see who talked about who was going to win that division, that's if anything's going to make them lose that division, it's Tannehill getting sacked a bunch of times. You just can't have that.
Yeah, it's their pass protection.
Yeah,
To be fair, Julio and AJ Brown were out of this game,
that's
so
true.
I don't. Tannehill did have a passing touchdown to somebody I didn't know. I'm gonna be honest. So they there was really no passing attack. I mean, 49 attempts for 298 yards is not great, but it is what it is. This was a Corey Davis revenge game. He was drafted by the Titans, so. Let's move on to Philadelphia. Kansas City drops a 42 bomb on Philadelphia. Kansas City 42, Philadelphia 30. Mahomes throws 5 touchdowns, 24 of 30, 278, 1 pick, 1 sack. This was, this was a Tyreek Hill get right game. He showed up in week 1, showed up in week 4. 11 receptions, 186 yards, 3 touchdowns. I would like to talk about the Eagles. Jalen Hurts goes 32 of 48, 387 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 sacks, 8 rushes, 47 yards. Devontae Smith, 7 receptions, 122 yards. I heard there were people saying they wanted Joe Flacco to come in.
Shoot,
Yeah, why?
because it's Philly.
Yeah, it's Philly.
Well, that's stupid. I mean, Jalen Hurts looked really good this game. I didn't get to watch all of it. I definitely watched the first half, but it was going back and forth, and Jalen Hurts looked like he was in complete control.
I mean, they were losing a lot. I'm not going to say they were in complete control, but it
No,
was.
I'm just saying like controlling the team or like
Like he had composure.
yeah.
I believe he is the best quarterback there, and I just think it's just the Chiefs. What are you gonna do? I mean, they put up 30 points against a bad Chiefs defense. You have to put up 50 to beat them. So
You can't kick field goals.
yeah,
We did miss that about Randy on the Titans.
Pat Randy did miss the game tying field goal. I forgot about that. I was thinking about it, and then I don't know what I said. So yeah, Fat Randy, shout out him all the years at Cincinnati. But Chiefs get right, back to 2-2. Finally cover the spread for the first time all year. I believe I took them. I'm not sure, but 42-30. What else can you say?
Yeah, it was nice seeing Devonta Smith. Got 122 yards. I mean, dude was an absolute stud at Alabama. You can't fault Jalen Hurts for this game at all. I don't think, but I don't think he's gonna be I don't think he's their franchise quarterback. But Devonta Smith, it's gonna be a great receiver, and he had a great game. I'd like to see it.
All right, let's move to Denver, where the Ravens win 23-7. Lamar Jackson, 22 of 37, 316, 1 touchdown, 3 sacks, 7 rushes, 38 yards. Marquise Brown, 4 receptions, 91 yards, and a very good touchdown. Drew Lock comes in for a concussed Teddy Bridgewater at halftime. Drew Lock goes 12 of 21, 113, 1 pick, 3 sacks. This was a very, very good passing game for Lamar Jackson. He had all the time in the world to throw. He hit his throws. A beautiful throw to Red Sox just hit a home run. Fuck me.
There's a lot of game left.
He threw a beautiful throw to Marquise Brown in the end zone. I mean,
That was just a good catch by Brown.
I was happy he held on to it. Not really, but
Brown went out for that ball.
he had to. He dropped 7 last week. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, he had no other choice, right? So, I mean, other than that, it was just
Just Distasteful decision by Harbaugh though at the end.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Dude,
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I think if you know you have a record that you can continue to go, that you've worked hard to achieve, and you know it's there, and you can go ahead and extend it. And I mean, that's on him. If somebody gets hurt or something bad happens, that's on him. But like, if you can go ahead and get it, I'm all for getting it. If you don't want him to get it, then stop it.
Yeah. See, my favorite part of that was when John Harbaugh, his comeback to it all. He's saying, the Broncos, they were obviously going to lose. There was only like 30 seconds less left, and the Broncos were still trying to throw for touchdowns when the Ravens picked it off. Like, John
yeah,
Harbaugh said,
but
what are
see,
they going to
that's a
score?
different
16-point
situation though.
touchdown or something? Like,
That's a different
they're still
situation.
putting their players at
That's what
risk.
my problems with is that comment.
Yeah. See, I still think the Broncos are still putting their players at risk doing that.
It's
Well,
a
the
And I mean,
Broncos
two-possession
just lost their
game.
starting quarterback.
yeah, there's no chance they're going to win that. And they
I
throw
mean,
a pick, and in the Ravens, they have
Can't
a
say
chance,
that.
chance to keep the record going. I'd do it too if I was coach.
But, like,
All right, so two things here. I did have a problem with John Harbaugh's comment. Vic Fangio can say whatever he wants. It was distasteful. Whatever. You're old. Grow up. John Harbaugh, he said, what do you say, Ronnie?
He said it was like 15.
You can't
like,
score
what are
a
they gonna
16-point
yeah.
touchdown. I mean, it's 8 points. It's two possessions. It was 17. I can understand, but it's two possessions. It mainly impossible, but not impossible. So whatever. My second thing is that this is a team that was playing the running backs in the preseason, and J.K. Dobbins should not have been in. Tears his ACL. I mean, they're down a lot of guys. They're an injury-prone team. You can't have, if anything, give it to a running back. Don't let it be Lamar. That
But
was
I think
poor
regardless,
decision.
it just goes and shows where your coach is on the side of the players. The players want that just as much as anybody else. And you go there, and if your coach has your back, like, hey, I realize something that's important not only to the franchise but to, the players that are involved. Why not go for it? And I'm sure the players respect that. Maybe not on the other side, but in house for sure.
The Ravens are a pro petty organization. They hold grudges and
sorry.
no, I was just wondering who was laughing. I thought it was Kevin for a second. I was lost. But they're good for them. They got it. There's a good chance myself, Kevin, and Lukey Poo 237 will see them break the record. We're going to the Monday night game. If you guys didn't know that.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. So shout out us. Also shout out us. Pittsburgh 17, Green Bay 27. Anybody want to talk about this one?
Not really.
I think we let the two Pittsburgh guys take over.
Yeah.
You want to go first, Ricky?
I'm just gonna spring off of what you said earlier in a group conversation or a text message. Matt Canada needs to go. That's about it. I don't like Ben.
It's great take. Great take.
I feel like Ben.
It's
Well,
hot.
He has a hip injury now, so I don't think he will start next game. Well, who knows?
I know he will.
I hope
This
he
is-
doesn't, man.
I mean,
Typical Big Ben, actually.
yeah, this has been mid-season form actually. All right,
Bye.
so Ben goes 26 of 40, 232, one touchdown, one pick, two sacks. Najee plays the entire game again. 15 rushes, 60 yards, one touchdown, six receptions, 29 yards. Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, 20 of 36, 248, two touchdowns, three sacks. Randall Cobb's old ass, five receptions, 69 yards, nice, two touchdowns. All right, let's start with Randall Cobb. I believe one of his touchdowns for sure was on Terrell Edmonds, who I hate. Bad safety, bad pick on draft. Didn't like him. I believe his other touchdown might have been Joe Schobert. Awful trade. He hasn't done anything. He's supposed to be a coverage linebacker. Bad.
That's the guy from Jacksonville, right?
Yeah. Why do we have another receiver? That's how Cleveland destroyed us. We had linebackers on receivers. Why? All right. Defense wasn't good. J.J. Watt gets 2 pity sacks, trips Aaron Rodgers. Who knows? Maybe. Whatever. No flag. The game obviously wasn't a. It was a massive play. Was the offsides on the blocked field goal? We went over the officiating, but I mean, I'm part of Steelers Twitter, so I've seen all the clips of the super slow mo, the NBC where they zoom in everything and it looks like he's on sides, but the fact that 2 of them got there and hit Minka in the hands, I thought it was fine, but whatever. I was hyped about that.
Najee looks good though. That's one positive takeaway.
Deontay Johnson not dropping any passes.
Oh,
My-
A-Rod and Adams is probably the best duo in the league, in my opinion.
Yeah, we had James Pierre covering the best route receiver in the football. Let's talk about Ben for a second. Steelers are not going 4-13. Good try. He has the arm. It's the accuracy that is upsetting me. He is not accurate. He's missing all these throws. He has the arm. He saw it on the touchdown. The arm is there. He's putting zip on passes. It's the accuracy. I don't know what's happened, but they keep saying I'm reading all these quotes from practice. I'm reading the quotes from Tomlin. It's something we can fix. I mean, we're in year 18, 17 or 18 of Ben. He's the second oldest quarterback in the league.
I just think his pocket collapses faster than a second. Like he doesn't have time at all.
You're either a Ben Ben is not good, get rid of him, he sucks fan, or you're the offensive line is terrible fan. Those are the two sides I've seen. The offensive line is what we thought it was. I mean, for preseason, everybody said, "Oh, the Steelers' offensive line is going to suck." I mean, and it turns out they suck. Ben, I love Ben. He's been my quarterback since 2004, April 23rd. He went 15-1 as a rookie, lost to the Patriots in the AFC Championship game, won the Super Bowl the next year, won the Super Bowl 3 years after that, went to the Super Bowl 2 years after that, taking us to AFC Championship games, lost to Aaron Rodgers in the Super Bowl. I mean, he's the greatest Steelers quarterback of all time. Oh, Terry Bradshaw has 4 Super Bowl rings. Look at the stats, dude. Read a book. Figure it out. My biggest problem is the Steelers play calling.
4th and 4, hot route.
Matt-
Najee again.
Matt Canada,
Little sweep route.
little sweep route, awful. Hate it. Just I guarantee the Juju 4th down was 4th and 6, and they got 3 yards or whatever it was. They called a man beating play, and it was zone. Ben, what are we doing, dog? Put somebody in motion. Read that. It's simple Madden rules. It's put a guy in motion. Oh, this is cover 2. Oh, it's not. I can do that. You're 39. Figure it out. I'm not in panic mode. I'm in anger mode. The Steelers were 1-3 just 2 years ago, so not worried about it. We're on to Denver.
Oh.
I am worried about that game, but we'll get to that later. Arizona 37, Los Angeles Rams 20. Arizona improves to 4-0. Somebody else talk. I need a drink.
Hey, where's Josh Dobbs at? Is he still playing for the Steelers?
No.
Dude's a legend. I want to say too, Terry Bradshaw had some legends around him too when he won them
And
Super
he had
Bowls.
Swanee.
Yeah.
That team was unreal. Yeah, and they had Steel Curtain and stuff too.
Yeah, bro. I mean, now granted, Ben has had some decent players come up
I
with
mean,
him. More than
miss
decent.
I miss Troy Polamalu. Them guys.
How can you not?
He was
Hines
fun
Ward.
to watch.
Do you want me to transition into the next game?
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
that's fine.
All right, so the next game we have Arizona at the LA Rams,
Here we go.
37-20. Arizona wins that game, goes to 4-0, and the Rams fall to 3-1. Kyler Murray put up a hell of a game. 24 for 32, 268 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 sacks. He had 6 rushes for 39 yards. Chase Edmonds, 12 rushes, 120 yards, 5 targets, and had 4 receptions of 19 yards. On the other side, Matt Stafford was 26 for 41, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Cooper Kupp had 5 receptions on 64 yards on 13 targets. And as I said earlier, or hinted to, as we got to this point, the last undefeated team is Arizona. So any takeaways from that game?
If that Cooper Cup and Stafford connection aren't connecting, they have problems.
Yeah, I agree.
Agree with that.
I specifically put that stat in there for that reason.
Also,
So,
my fantasy team hurts when Cooper Cup doesn't get a touchdown, but
yeah, when they're connecting as a different team, I think the bigger picture here is I think Kyler Murray is the early season MVP over Russ.
I agree.
Yeah, definitely.
I think he is, just based on what he's done. I mean, it's the way too early MVP, like, but he's just been unreal. Like, just literally looks like he's playing with the joystick out there when he plays in the backfield. It's not even.
He's like a little toddler out there.
My
Some
opinion.
breaking news, real quick. Da-na-na, da-na-na. Cowboys cut Jalen Smith. So,
Oh,
Really?
yeah.
Washington, maybe?
I mean,
Like,
Steelers looking for a coverage linebacker. He's
We
quite
didn't-
fast.
Washington just lost John Bostic.
True. I did see that.
I'd be all for Jamie Collins.
I think he's signing with New England.
Never
I
mind.
can see that.
I saw that report today. But going back to Arizona, Los Angeles, this was an interesting game because it was never really close. The Rams scored a garbage time touchdown with like 2:13 left or whatever to make it 37-20. But, I mean, the Cardinals just, is the offense that good? I mean, or is this a Rams played their Super Bowl last week and come down, weren't really hyped up for this game?
I don't know.
I can see it. Yeah.
Well, I know
Yeah, it's tough to say.
in the third, one of the announcers said that the Cardinals were holding the third best scoring team in the league to just 13 points, and this was in the third. So I don't know if the Cardinals defense is the truth or if the Rams were still hungover from last week.
Don't they got J.J. Watt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Chandler Jones, and
Mhm.
they got a good defense. I think it's a mix,
Byron
though.
Murphy.
Yeah. I think the Rams probably were a little hungover, but I just think the Cardinals are just a better team
Mhm.
right now. I think it goes to show, considering the Rams just beat the Buccaneers, who are the previous Super Bowl champions, who kept everybody, who still have Tom Brady, are still a great team, and then the Cardinals come out and win by 17 against them. Rams have a great defense, and they showed that against Tom Brady. They adjusted to him perfectly to beat them, and Kyler Murray still came out, led the team, 37 points. I would definitely say he's early MVP. We'll see how it all plays out. I mean, Chase Edmonds had a good game.
Yeah, he did. James Conner had a good game too, actually.
Yeah. I think Arizona has some weapons at wide receiver, though. I mean, they've got
Ooh.
DeAndre
Well, and he
Hopkins,
has the
Wow.
deepest
behind
court,
AJ
don't they?
Green, dude. They got
Christian
Christian Kirk, Rondale Moore. Like, dude,
Love
they've got
Rondell
a
Moore.
stacked
Love
bunch of
Rondale Moore.
receivers.
Big Ten.
Boiler up, baby.
Boiler
I don't
up.
think Arizona's the Super Bowl like favorite right now, but
Who do you think the favorite in that division is? We'll get. All right, so let me say that as we head to Seattle 28, San Francisco 21. San Francisco is leading 7-0 early, but Seattle comes back. Jimmy G goes down. Trey Lance comes in. what do we think of this? I mean,
Seahawks
Russell
looked
Wilson.
awful in the first half.
Say again?
Seahawks just looked awful in the first half.
Hmm.
Yeah. Normally they look awful in the second half, so they're switching things up.
That's really all I took away from that game. It was crazy to see that the 49ers defense were just containing Russ that much.
Personally, I
And
think
DK.
Russ had the play of the day with the rollout touchdown sideline throw. I thought that was amazing. But Trey Lance goes 9 for 18, 157, 2 touchdowns, 1 sack, 7 rushes, 41 yards. What do we think about him? I think.
He's gonna be good. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's his time yet though.
I mean, I've seen reports where it says Jimmy G is out for a couple of weeks with a calf strain, and then I saw Kyle Shanahan say he might play next week. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. I will
I think
say
it's-
Trey Lance out of all the rookie quarterbacks is in the absolute best situation. I mean, it's not even comparable.
mhm.
So if any
I
of
agree.
them has the best opportunity to show what they can do, it's Trey Lance. I mean, he had 2 touchdowns that game, 157 yards. I mean, he didn't throw that much, small sample size, just like Fields.
The numbers
But
are skewed. He had like a
yeah,
75-yard touchdown to Debo or
yeah.
67, something like
So
that.
I mean, you never know. I guess we'll see if he does start next week. If he gets to play a full game, we'll get to start seeing what he is capable of. But
A week of full team reps and practice, things
yeah,
like that. Yeah.
yeah, that's
I
big.
I would be very excited to see him because that rushing attack is running back by committee, but they're all good. This is a very good running back by committee. Trey Sermon, I think is going to be very good. I liked that draft pick. I liked Trey Lance a lot. Trey Lance was missing throws. He played. I mean, he played one game last year in college, and he played for North Dakota State. So it's he played one full season of football in college. So granted, he threw like 40 touchdowns, no interceptions, no fumbles, but it was FCS for the Blue Mountain State of the world. So it's he's gonna need a lot of work, but he's in the right offense. I love Kyle Shanahan. This is a uh, this is a sorry, there's double for the Red Sox.
Yeah,
You
I
gotta
just
be
saw
kidding
that.
me, dog. Uh,
I think Ricky might have been on the right track there.
They're at Fenway, bro.
they suck. Whatever. I think it's going to be a John Harbaugh esque offense right now, where they're going to be a read option team, and they have the playmakers at receivers that makes them better than the Ravens. George Kittle is amazing. He's better than Mark Andrews. Debo Samuel is probably better than uh, Marquise Brown. It's close, but I'm very interested to see this offense. So, go back to my previous question: who wins this division?
I'm saying Arizona still.
Yeah,
Yep.
Arizona.
Yeah, I think their offense is they're too stacked, and their defense is they're still playing great. I mean, they've got weapons on defense too. The Rams are gonna be right there. I think it's gonna be very close. I think it's gonna come down to 1 or 2 games, definitely.
Is that the
Seahawks,
hardest
I don't know.
division?
Say again,
Mm,
Ricky.
Would you consider that the hardest division?
It's my hardest.
Yeah.
yeah, after this week, yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
I don't think it's the worst. Personal.
Yeah, we went over this last week with.
Yeah.
I said MC West. He said AFC West. So best teams are playing ball out west.
Also,
it's tr-
so Trey Lance has, if he starts next week, has a huge test in front of him because they play the Cardinals.
Yeah, they got back-to-back divisional games for NFC West. I believe Seattle and Los Angeles Rams play Thursday night, so that's
Yes.
gonna be a good game. Watch that.
Yep.
But let's travel back east where homecomings are happening. Tom Brady visits New England for the first time. Wow, cool. Tampa Bay gets to win 19-17. Ugly game. Didn't watch it
What-
out of
what-
spite,
yeah.
but
Weather.
yeah, terrible weather.
Out of spite.
Yeah. You think I want to watch Belichick or
have a-
Brady?
We have a
gotta
biased
love
member on the team.
Yeah, this
I
is my
mean,
game of the week.
Game of the
It
season.
wasn't. This
No,
19 to 17 is your game of the week?
Well, no, last Thursday before the game started and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I said this is
Yeah,
gonna
we
be my
don't-
game of
yeah.
the week.
You keep
I thought
saying
it was-
we. I was not. I don't. I don't want to be a
There's-
part of that.
I kept saying it was my game of the week.
Mac Jones looks really good.
Yeah, I was gonna get into that. Tom Brady, 22 for 43, 269 yards, 1 sack. Leonard Fournette, 20 rushes, 91 yards. He had 3 catches for 47 yards. Mac Jones was 31 for 40, 275 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, 4 sacks. Correct me if I'm wrong, it was 19 straight completions at a point, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep. And so I think that Mac kind of showed up. I don't know if it was the Belichick effect, getting into his head to, get him ready for this game. But I think Mac did what he had to do to beat this team, coming off, the team that they are. So it came down to a field goal. I mean, we can go either way on that one, if it was a good call or a bad call. But obviously, the leg was there, just ended up doinking off of the post. But
It was 4th and 3, right?
Yeah. It was an interesting play call. I like to hear you guys' thoughts because it was 4th and 3 at like the 40 something. I forget what it was. It was a 56-yard field goal, so you can do the math. But you have a good quarterback that you're grooming it. And he played very well. It's probably his best game. I think all rookie quarterbacks played their best game this week. But do you just not trust him? And if you don't get it, you lose. If you miss the kick, you lose. If you make the kick, you're giving Tom Brady a minute and 6 or whatever it was, 16. You're giving him that time to go down and win the game. Interesting.
I think that just shows that Bill trusts his defense.
That's what I was about to say. Would you rather see, if you were Bill, would you rather see the defense stop Brady, or would you rather go and score on Brady for the last time?
See, where I'm thinking about this is if you trust your defense, you can still go for it. And I mean, 56-yard field goal, that's a long field goal. I think you still go for it. And not going for it shows you don't have the trust in your quarterback to get 3 yards.
It was very shitty weather as well, so
That's true too. So I mean, that's probably a big part of that call. Was that?
I thought it was interesting. We've seen the NFL be extremely aggressive in 4th downs this year, extremely aggressive, and it was. I guess Belichick is not one of those guys, so that was interesting.
Also, shout out Steve Belichick. MEC was all over that.
I mean, he's just. I can't wait for him to ruin my life with the Patriots. It's gonna be awesome.
That was the funniest meme of all time.
What a weird guy. Good for his wife, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it was nice seeing Brady break the record though, passing yards, and then
let's not overlook that.
and he was what the 4th quarterback to win a game against all 32 teams. I mean, that's just unreal.
And you
Yeah,
know who's
sick,
in that
dude.
list? You have Drew Brees, Brett Favre, Tom Brady, and I'm forgetting the last person.
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
That's a great list to be in.
That was that game. It was good. It was emotional. It was, homecoming, but it is what it is. It was a closer game. Sean disagrees. That's all right.
Yeah, the worst.
On to the next game. We have the Las Vegas Raiders versus the LA Chargers. 14-28. Sean, you want to take over?
Yeah, this was I thought this was a good game. Derek Carr goes 21 for 34, 196, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, 4 sacks. Hunter Renfrow still very good, 6 receptions, 45 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 tackle, one pass breakup, excuse me.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert 25 for 38, 222, 3 touchdowns, 2 sacks. Austin Eckler does very well, 15 rushes, 117 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 receptions, 28 yards, 1 touchdown. The Chargers lead the AFC West in Mark's hardest division.
Yeah,
Mark, talk about your darling Justin Herbert.
my darling Justin Herbert came through and showed up again. Why he is up there with the elite quarterbacks. Made all the throws they really need to when it came down to it. Pretty much throws the ball on a rope, in my opinion. He doesn't.
He don't miss.
He doesn't miss. He doesn't miss, and that's the thing. He knows where it needs to go, and he gets it there. And I think his arm talent, obviously kind of buffers that a little bit. Like, you know what I mean? When it comes to, needing to make plays, he has the ability to whip the ball in there. And I mean, if you think about it, it's just like look at all the teams that are in there. I mean, yes, they played some weak teams, but that whole AFC West, with the Chargers, the Chiefs, I'm drawing a blank.
Broncos,
Broncos,
Raiders.
and the Raiders. They all have winning records, and the Chiefs were the favorites coming into the season, and for them and for the Chargers to take them down earlier on, I think was a huge momentum boost for the team as a whole, and just I think they're gonna ride that momentum for a little bit.
Yeah, the Chargers are very good. I need to look at their schedule because I don't. My money's still on the Chiefs to win that division, but the winner of that division quite possibly gets the number one seed. There's a good chance Buffalo does because they play in a terrible division. I think they'll win all their divisional games, but this division is gonna beat the shit out of each other. Every game is gonna be close. We already saw the Chargers are 2-0 in that division. They beat the Chiefs and the Raiders. It's probably the two hardest teams, depending on how long Teddy Bridgewater is out. This is interesting. This is Derwin James is one of my favorite players in the NFL. I think he's the best, probably a top tier safety. I don't know if I would put him number one. I'm trying to think who else I would, but he is what Jamal Adams dreams to be. He actually plays coverage. He actually hits everybody hard, and he's everywhere. He's been injured the past couple of years, but he's probably the best all around coverage, all around defensive back in the league, in my opinion.
The thing that sets the Chargers against the Chiefs for me is that I think the Chargers have a much better defense. I mean, the
Yep.
Chiefs' defense is
Yep.
just awful this year. And I mean, if you still have Justin Herbert playing quarterback for the Chargers, and their defense can at least hold Mahomes to around like 30 points, then those games are going to be pretty close. And I think the Chargers might have an edge on them just because of the defense. They've got Austin Eckler, who's good. I don't think Herbert is as great as Mahomes yet. He might be soon. I mean,
No,
you never
yeah,
know.
and we had a
Yeah.
conversation before doing this show, but I'm not saying that he's better than Mahomes. I just because Mahomes has all of the trophies, he has all the glamour. He's done it before. He's been there, done that. He's proven himself. But like when it comes down to just watching them play against each other, there's not many discrepancies between the two.
Mm.
You
Yeah,
know
I
what I
agree.
mean? It's kind of it's almost like watching the same player in a sense. I mean, they have different things that they do, but I think that's going to be a tough division for quite some time.
I'm excited to see it play out. I wish they were in the NFC because the Steelers were eventually play them, but they play them this year actually. But I mean,
I
I-
mean, the
go
Chargers'
ahead.
next two games are Cleveland and Baltimore.
And I think they're both winning.
That's a test. Yeah, I think that's a test, but I think they win both of them.
Then week 7 is their bye week.
And I say that not just because like I'm rooting against the other team, but like I'm saying that from a sense of like they need to win those games to like really like put an emphasis on the league, like saying like yeah we're here, like we're
Right.
for real.
Yeah, if they win them games, yeah,
I mean,
They're gonna
anything
start
can
taking
happen.
them seriously. You have to.
Anything can happen on any given Sunday. We've learned that, and I just think those are statement games. Regardless of who you're playing, like beat the teams you should beat, and then the teams that you're not sure about, you should beat as well. And I don't know. I think it's gonna go far for them personally. That's my take on LA.
I did want to bring up the weather delay. I thought that was pretty funny. John Gruden was not happy about that, so I just thought that
Wouldn't
was
be
funny.
either.
That was funny.
In an indoor stadium, is there? Did we determine if there was a retractable roof or not?
No, there
Do we
was a
know?
roof, but they didn't know if light because I think there's like
They
a
didn't
gap
have their
on the
size,
side.
right?
Their
Yeah.
sides. So it's like I don't think lightning can move sideways.
Bro. If
Shit,
lightning does that, we're
I
in
mean,
trouble.
What?
This isn't a science podcast.
yeah. Not a math guy, but I thought that was funny. John Green was not happy about that, but good game, good win for the Chargers once again. Who's their loss to? Was it the
Cowboys.
Cowboys? Yeah, they lost 20-17. So
That was a close one.
yeah, interesting. We'll see how the Chargers go. They're interesting. I would like to see their Super Bowl odds, but we're gonna see. That was a Week 4 wrap up. Do you guys want to talk some college football a little bit? Maybe. Yes.
I
No.
didn't get to watch any.
We can go with some.
There we go.
All right. Let's start with Kevin and Marcus.
Had us in the first half, not gonna lie. Wisconsin.
For those of you who don't know, Michigan beats Wisconsin 38-17.
All right. Hey, Graham Mertz.
He's good, man. I thought he played great.
Yeah. Did ya? I mean, I didn't know what to expect. I mean, I was already let down from the first loss to Penn State of the season. It's just I don't you can't win in any league without the most important position being adequate, and I don't think Graham Mertz is that. So I'm not surprised by the outcome of that game because the defense can only do so much, and the defense was playing quite well against Michigan their first stint. But if you don't have an offense that can come take the field and do something about it, there's nothing that's ever going to be done. So
Yeah,
I admit my loss.
they played pretty well against our rushing, containing Haskins and Corum.
The defense is not the problem.
Yeah.
Who's Michigan's
Kiwi.
no, their defensive end. Cade
Hutchinson?
something?
Hutchinson.
Yeah, Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah.
I believe he will be a very high draft pick.
Yeah,
He's very good. I like him a lot.
He's good. So is Dax Hill.
Who's Michigan play next?
I think he played Nebraska.
Oh, yep, that is right. I mean, trap game.
Yeah.
Every
Trap
game in the
game.
Big Ten.
Northwestern
Trap
does
game.
pretty good against us. We play them the following week, I believe. So I'm kind of worried about them. They always keep the score low.
I mean, it's Big Ten.
Yeah.
Let's go down to Georgia. They're my number one team in the nation, beating Arkansas 37-0. Georgia is outscoring the last two SEC opponents 99-0. So, best defense in the nation by far. I can't wait to see Georgia Alabama SEC championship game. Can't wait to see it in the college football playoff. They're the two best teams in the nation. Very good offense for Bama. Very good defense for Georgia. This is going to be a very interesting year.
Yeah, I definitely think Georgia is probably my number one too. I mean, just look at what was it, week 1 when they played Clemson,
Mhm.
and they held them to what their lowest score or something like that since like the early 2000s.
Yeah, 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, their defense is playing unreal, and that's exactly what you need to combat an Alabama team. So, like you said, that's going to be a very, very fun game to watch when they actually go up against Alabama. Because the way it's going, they're definitely going to be playing in the SEC championship against each other, and probably the playoffs and the championship. Honestly,
They both have tough-ish games. I mean, all SEC opponents are very tough. I believe Bama still has Auburn, A&M. But speaking of Bama, they played Ole Miss this weekend. I expected that game to be a lot closer. It was not. Bama wins easily. Probably could have dropped 60. Bama wins 42-21. This was the Heisman favorite game. This was Bryce Young versus Matt Corral. I don't think there's a Heisman favorite. Bryce Young has decent numbers, but I mean, they're okay. There's nobody jumping out right now. There's no Joe Burrow or uh,
Devonta Smith.
yeah, Lamar Jackson numbers popping out right now. So it's going to be interesting. But
Yep.
uh, Oregon loses to Stanford in overtime. This was, I mean, the Pac-12 going to Pac-12. They're gonna. This happens every year.
Every year.
It's always to a top 5 team loses to a bad Washington State or a Oregon State or a Stanford, and the Pac-12 will never make the college football playoff. I promise you, they'll never win. It's impossible for them. I feel sorry for them. I like USC. I like Oregon. You got to be joking my ass. Come on, home run, Boston. Get Garrett
really.
Cole out. Yeah.
See, that's the problem, man. The Yankees relievers are not very good.
I mean, Garrett Cole's not very. The starter's not good, so
The Yankees go to the relievers, it's game over.
figure it
Cole's got
out.
to get it together.
But back to football. Cincinnati beats Notre Dame 24-13. I
Fucking hate
am
Notre Dame.
interested to see if Cincinnati can make the college football playoff. Ricky's shaking her head no. Do you not think so?
Because I miss Kyle Schwarber. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah,
Was that him that hit it?
Yeah, it was him.
the old national.
Rest in peace. But Cincinnati is ranked, I believe they're 5th right now. So if they win this week, they're guaranteed to move up in the top 4 because number 3 and number 4 play each other. Iowa and Penn State play each other this week, so they're going to be moving up to the top 4. The AP polls don't really mean anything until that they don't mean anything, but the college football rankings, which come out mid-October to November timeframe, will probably have, as long as they keep winning, they have a very easy schedule. I think their hardest game is a bad UCF team, or they do play SMU, who is also pretty good. I like their quarterback, Tanner Mordecai, I believe his name. They're undefeated, so
Yep.
I think Cincinnati can easily go undefeated and win the
Yeah.
AAC and
My
make the playoff.
problem with them making the playoffs is this is something I heard somewhere else too, but their lack of strength of schedule. And it really, for them to make the playoffs, to me, it all depends on how those power conference teams play out. Like if Ohio State wins out or something, or like Michigan wins out, they're
Well,
probably gonna get
they have to play each other.
yeah. So that's the
Michigan and
problem.
Ohio State play each other, so they're not.
Yeah.
Ohio State already has one loss.
Yeah, I think one of them teams. I think one of them teams will make the playoffs, Michigan or Ohio State. And I think it all depends on other teams and other conferences. If other teams just don't really, you know, show that strength, and Cincinnati can go undefeated with their schedule. I mean, I'd love to see it. It'd be awesome to see one of the Clemson, Georgia, Alabama type teams not making the playoffs. Seeing somebody like Cincinnati, I don't think they can compete with Georgia or Alabama, but it would still be nice to see.
Well, that would be the thing. Georgia or Alabama will be the 1 seed. They'll be the 4 seed. Georgia, Alabama will be the 3 seeds, and then you can have Ohio State be a 2, or Oklahoma is still undefeated. They're possible. They have a big matchup with Texas this weekend. I think Texas is back. I think they win the Big 12. I
And then
expect Texas to win this week.
you got Penn State and Iowa playing this week too, I think.
Yeah.
A
Yep.
big one.
Yeah.
This is good. This is good college football week,
mean,
but
You watch Maryland, Iowa. I mean, Maryland obviously they always play great the first 4 games when it's non-conference. But they were only 3 point. I think they were only the spread was like 3 or something like that. So they were, Vegas had them only losing by like 3 points or something, but they got absolutely destroyed. I mean, that's typical Maryland fashion, but is Iowa that team this year? Maybe Maryland's actually somewhat decent, and then Iowa just absolutely destroyed them because Iowa's good. I don't think so, because Iowa's quarterback, to me, they don't have that elite quarterback as some other teams.
They got good defense.
They've got a good defense. I mean, they picked off with Tulia Tagovailoa like 4 or 5 times or something like that. I mean, you can't win a game like that. But
yeah,
it's just a good defense going to keep them competing with other top teams. I don't think so. But
I mean, Penn State has a decent defense, but they also have a decent offense as well. And Jahan Dotson is a very good receiver. I like him a lot. Sean Clifford is a poor man's Trace McSorley. They have a good running back. I don't know his name off the top of my head, unfortunately, but he's very good. But the Big Ten gonna Big Ten. They're gonna. Penn State plays Iowa. Penn State plays Ohio State. Michigan, Ohio State play. They're not all going to be in the top 10 by the end of the year. So
Yeah, we played Penn State too.
give me one out of those few.
Yep.
And I have my bets on Ohio State, unfortunately.
Yeah, they bounced back this week with say again.
Said boo.
Oh, trust me, I'm boo too, but it's Ohio State.
I'm already low key an Ohio State fan.
I
should
wouldn't
be.
doubt it.
Ohio State bounces back this week with a big win, 52-13 against Rutgers. Rutgers was undefeated against the spread, and now they are not. So they were my favorite team to bet college football, the only team I really won with, and now I suck. So shout out Ohio State.
About Kentucky, Florida. I know you had said something about Florida losing against the spread, and Kentucky came in and beat them.
Yeah, I don't have the stats in front of me, but
I don't either.
this was the definition of a trap game for Florida, and turns out trap game. Waka Flocka storms the field wild. They're playing his song as they storm the field. They get fined $250K. Don't care. Beat Florida. Good for Kentucky. I like the program. I have images of Terry Wilson. I remember watching him a couple years ago. Worst quarterback, great runner, bad quarterback. But Florida needs to play Anthony Richardson. They're playing Emory Jones. Stupid, but that's what I gotta say about that. Any other big games you guys can think of?
Garrett Cole just got pulled in the third.
Any
That's
other
it.
big games you guys can think of?
That's it for the Yankees.
Not off the top of my
What
head.
about the NL wild card? Where we
That's gonna
finish
be a
this?
good game.
That's
That's
what
gonna
tomorrow.
Be a very good game. Yeah.
That
Who's
is
that? Dodgers and who?
Cardinals.
Cardinals. I mean,
You
the
got
Cardinals
Scherzer
are
on
about
the
as
bump,
hot as
too.
it gets too right now.
Against Scherzer, who's actually
Yeah.
very hot. That's gonna be a good game.
And old man Adam Wainwright played good this year. That's gonna be a fun one to watch.
Pujols.
Yeah, it's the Pujols revenge
played for the
game.
Dodgers, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's.
I mean, Dodgers are favorite to win the World Series. They're probably a big favorite tomorrow. I'd like
Yeah.
to see what those odds are, but
I want to see the Cardinals win, but I think the Dodgers got it.
I want to see
I
the
mean-
Dodgers win, unfortunately.
you're the
I don't want
worst.
to see them win. I don't. But I want to see Trey Turner and Max win
Don't
because
care.
they deserve the win.
I'm just a fan of the
Good.
game. I don't
Gone
care who
from the
wins.
team, gone from my mind.
I hope the best team wins.
Yep.
I have both teams
I
have
hope we
fun.
all have fun.
The umpires have good games.
All right, last thing before we get out of here, Ricky and Marcus,
Yes.
we need your NHL predictions.
Predictions. What kind of predictions?
Stanley
NHL
Cup.
season starts 1 week from tomorrow.
Oh, that's right.
Penguins
we'll be up
Lightning on
against-
ESPN.
Well,
I
we're
don't.
gonna lose that game. I mean,
There's nothing. Okay. My predictions. It's gonna be the Avalanche. I think that's the given in the West. Another season of Peter Laviolette system. The Caps. This is it. I mean, this is it. This is it. This is the last chance.
Agree.
If it doesn't
I
happen
agree.
if it doesn't happen this year, then it's not going to happen any other time. It's just not.
For a while, a long time.
So I know it sounds biased, me coming from a Caps fan, and yeah, I think they're going to win every game they play. So I expect them to go 82-0 each season as well. But
I got a quick
it's-
question when you're done.
yeah, it's just if it's not DC, I think the next team up would probably be, I think Toronto puts it together.
So I was reading The Athletic, which is they put articles out and everything, sports writing. They had the Islanders winning that division. What do you think about that?
You asking me?
Yeah,
I can see it just based on how Barry Trotz coaches.
yeah.
So
That's what I said as well.
I can very well see that happening. It's the good thing about Barry Trotz that he wins games. The bad thing is it's awful hockey to watch.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
So
I
it
think
really-
me and Ronnie said that. Ronnie said Barry Trotz, and I said it's gonna be a 2-1 game. It's not gonna be very fun.
yeah, it's terrible hockey games to watch. It's not very exciting. It's not very fast paced. It's very neutral zone oriented. But I can see it. I mean, nothing would really surprise me, especially you got to see how these new pieces, fall into place with their new teams, things like that. And I think that's where the Capitals have the advantage amongst other teams is that they didn't have new players. So, it's the same core group from last year coming back in again, trying to figure this thing out, again. So, we have to see Kuznetsov needs to step up to another level, get back to playoff form to what he can do. We've seen what he can achieve. We're going to start the season without Nick Backstrom, coming off hip surgery.
How long
So,
is he out? I didn't know that.
duration, I don't know, but I do know he's out for a good amount of time. Like I said, he had hip surgery, and so one of the young guys that we've drafted will be stepping up in his place, both more than capable of doing so. They're not Nick Backstrom, of course, but they can hold it down. But I do think they make the playoffs. I think this is really their last chance to make it all go together because Father Time is clicking.
Yeah, they're definitely getting older. It's
Give us
getting
a
close every goal time.
goal amount for Ovi this year.
35-40.
Dude, I was gonna say 35 too. I could see it.
Oh my God, you guys should kiss. Ricky, give us your
I
prediction.
might have to.
what prediction are you looking for?
How do you think the Penguins are gonna do?
Um,
Keep in mind, Sid is out for 6 weeks and Gino's out for 2 months.
it's kind of history repeats itself though, Sean. I mean, the Penguins always struggle in the beginning, and then somehow, somewhere, I don't know where, but they fix it and they start clicking again, and they're a contender for the cup, just out of the blue.
Do you think they make the playoffs?
Yes.
It's been 15 straight years, 16, something like that. So it's a good easy bet to make. Give us your Stanley Cup predictions, East and West.
Oh God. All right. West. I'm gonna have to say Colorado. Then East. Shit, bro. I don't know who's gonna win the East. I mean, I don't want to say Tampa, just because that's a given.
Ain't no way they're doing three-peat.
There's no way they do a three-peat.
But,
I mean,
like,
they
can
could. They could. They really
you
could.
name the last team to at least three-peat. I
Montreal.
learned this today.
Montreal.
Island,
No. Say
Island,
again, Mark? Yep.
Islanders.
It was the Islanders.
Hmm.
In
Yeah,
like the
Kev.
80s or something.
Gotta just say Detroit.
I don't know. I
Nah.
mean,
I said Montreal.
East is a toss.
The East is gonna be tough, but who you taking?
I'm just gonna say the Penguins.
All right, fair enough.
I like it.
Hot take.
I'm gonna
Detroit makes
stand by what I
playoffs.
said.
Yeah, my prediction was terrible. I had Toronto versus Montreal. It's pretty funny because it's physically impossible.
Don't worry, that's gonna be all over Twitter.
Yeah, sweet, sick. I'm glad I brought it up, so whatever. But I'll go. I'm sticking with Toronto. I love Toronto. But I'll go Vegas. I think I don't love it. I don't. I just don't want to pick the Colorado because how often does the favorite actually win the Stanley Cup? You have to think about that. But they're Colorado's so good, and you just feel like you have to win it sometime. They need to win, but
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how Chicago bounces back. I love the pickup of Fleury. I was thinking about them, but we'll see.
What about Seattle?
No,
Hell
Do you
no.
guys
I'm saying, like,
do you
how
think they make
how
the
do we feel?
playoffs?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at.
no,
No.
How do we feel
I
about
don't think
Seattle?
no.
Sorry.
They last place. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna say like I think my Stanley Cup favors. I'm gonna go with the same Colorado in the West because they definitely are the best team in the West. East, I'm gonna go with what I said. I think only Thursday.
Yep.
Probably Boston.
Yeah, you said Colorado and Boston.
Yeah.
Kevin said Colorado and the Islanders.
And I'll explain Boston because it's probably different, but I just think Boston's one of them gritty teams.
Yeah.
They always seem to be right there in the mix, and I mean they've got Taylor Hall back. Did they lose Krejci this year?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they lost him, which would be a hit.
That's a
But
huge hit.
it's a big hit.
Did they
I
have
just-
them for playoffs?
Yep.
Who? They didn't have somebody for the playoffs. I forget who it was. I don't remember, but maybe it was
just-
Carlo. I forget who it was.
Yeah, Brandon
Miller?
Carvelo, Cavla or whatever his name is.
Carlo.
I
yeah.
just unfortunately can't see Washington competing because ever since their Stanley Cup win, they haven't really seemed to have that same motivation in the playoffs. Unfortunately, Tampa Bay is obviously the favorite because they won the last two championships and they're a great team. I can't see the Islanders getting to the Stanley Cup. I mean, you never know. They could. Boston's one of them teams. Toronto could be up there. I think Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh will just barely make the playoffs, but I think they will. Carolina, I think will be up there competing.
Carolina's
But-
very good.
Yeah,
Interested to see how they do. They got new goalies down there, which I was lost Dougie Hamilton. I liked him a lot.
Yemi signing was huge. So
I love Rod Brindamore too. I think he's a great coach. I think he's a player's coach, and I think the players love to play for him.
it'll be interesting to see. But
What did Kevin say?
Anybody? He said Colorado and the Islanders.
That's right.
Anybody else got any last things to say?
Kyler Murray is what Lamar wants to be.
That's hot.
I don't think it's that hot.
No, it's not. I mean,
fair enough. But I don't have anything.
Maryland
Kyler
football's a
Murray.
joke again. Thought they
Kev,
were gonna win this year.
you got anything?
Well, nope.
Okay.
All
John?
right. Thanks for coming out. This was episode 2, full episode, week 4 NFL coverage, a little bit of week 5. We talked baseball for 69 seconds. Yankees fucking suck.
I do have one thing. The YouTube video will be up tomorrow. Don't know when, but it'll be up tomorrow.
Yeah, hit all of our socials at Sauce Hog Sports on Twitter. I believe our YouTube is Sauce Hogs Sports. Discord is, what is it, Kev?
Sauce Hog Sports?
Yeah, Sauce Hog Sports.
All right, sweet. Follow us. All of our socials are linked as well. All right. We'll see you guys on Thursday, I believe. We'll talk some week 5 preview, get into some of these games. And maybe the Steelers can win one. Who knows? I'll give out my betting picks. I went 5-1 in the NFL. You should follow me. I'm actually good at the NFL. But we're going to see.
Listen
All
to
right.
me when it comes to baseball.
Peace, love, dope. Guys.